Looking good for generations of space travelers to come.
Yeah, first we're gonna look down.
For Houston, folder for Photo TV 3D.
NASA's most ambitious goal coming up in the next few years is to get humans to the moon, and then after that to the red planet Mars itself. Well, there's evidence that we've been receiving over the past few months in regards to the red planet. Has NASA visited Mars in the past? Compelling evidence has just come into me via my Facebook in regards to video that showcases possibility that astronauts from NASA has visited the red planet.
Now we're coming to you.
Downloaded and then let the JC Photo TV guys know that we've sent those down.
It's a beautiful place from up here.
The footage is in full spectrum color. You could hear the astronauts in the background. They're having a conversation among themselves. They seem excited to have arrived, and one of the pilots or one of the astronauts is actually excited about what he's filming. He's zooming in and out from the red planet. We're getting some parallax, some perspective.
How's that for a winner of a view?
It looks very authentic, if you ask me. And if it's a hoax, it's a damn good one. Is there a secret space program that has been visiting Mars for a long time? Months ago, we received black and white footage apparently showcasing another mission to the red planet. Has NASA successfully arrived? And they're not telling us the whole story. Well, in my opinion, some of the video showcases possible evidence. It, like I said, looks very convincing. And then the black and white footage showcasing another visit in the 50s. It seems to me that the red planet has been visited by man. Or is this some kind of elaborate hoax? We're trying to find out the original source of the edit. If this is from NASA, is it leaked footage? We're not exactly sure, but at the moment, there's a question. Have we made it to the red planet, known as Mars?
All right, this is compelling footage. We noticed the capsule approach Mars, and we can see the polar ice cap. It's quite large. I'm looking at the recent pictures of Mars, and you can see the polar ice cap is actually a little smaller than this photo itself. So this represents a time of when this mission possibly took place. Again, we're hearing that Houston, over there, NASA is in control of this mission. And when the pilots, the astronauts itself, approach Red Planet, you could hear their enthusiasm.
Commander.
Almost this euphoric moment. I'm listening to the tapes, they sound authentic. It would take a crew to kind of come up with this dialogue, someone with like Hollywood intelligence to create this nice dialogue that sounds legitimate.
Looking good for generations of space travelers to come.
Yeah, first we're gonna look down.
For Houston.
Now we're looking at the whole thing itself and trying to look at this as a technical side. I'm noticing the hand as it moves in front of the camera while it's looking at Mars. This would be something that would be very hard to do by any Hollywood expert. I don't really see any CGI. That's the interesting thing about the evidence. It seems almost practical. Let's imagine, could this be done in a projection screen with maybe a fuselage that was created and they're shooting through the window to create this kind of illusion of like a post-projection to see something in the background that's kind of just a projection itself rather than this being the real deal. Now, if you recall, like 4 or 5 months ago, there's a coelacanth leak of these possible early missions to Mars. Like it looks like this was dating back to the 30s or 40s. And we received some of these images, and again, look at this. It looks real. we're not seeing any CGI in any of these effects that are being done here. It's practical. It seems like you can see the person filming from outside the porthole and actually getting a good image of whatever this craft is. It's kind of like a barge ship. It looks like something you would see out of a sci-fi movie. But in fact, I don't see no CGI. This is not done in a Hollywood computer. This is something that's actually being captured through the camera.
Here we go again. Is it real or is it fake? Was it a hoax? I don't know, but we got a video here that shows Americans going to Mars some 50 years ago or 60 years ago. It's unbelievable that we would even think we'd have the technology to go to Mars back then. So that's my first question. How did we do it with the technology of the day if we barely made it to the moon, it seems, you know? But we got a video that starts out, people are celebrating, they're going to Mars, and then we see the camera go to the window of the spacecraft that they're in and showing the topography of Mars as they're traversing over it. It is realistic looking. The voices sound like that's the kind of conversation that might happen on the way to Mars and finally getting there. But it is very clear, and the camera they used did a really good job. It would rival a lot of cameras today. So that's another question I'd like to bring up. You know, what kind of camera was being used? I'm sure it was a Hasselblad something, but it's very clear. We have great images, we have great conversation. I just don't know if we went there. They're talking about, oh, we're lucky, you know, to make it here. And, you know, thank God. It looks beautiful from up here. You know, you hear all the comments.
Hey, just a few words overall on the mission itself.
It sounds like they're in a craft. It almost sounds like they're in an airplane. But how would I know what it sounds like in a spacecraft? So I'm not too sure on that. There's a lot of questions to a video that may have a lot of answers, which is intriguing. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I just had to ask you guys, are you thinking about it the same way as me? Could this really have happened that many years ago? And go to Mars? We were trying to go to the moon. Did we go to Mars too?
So in this video, which we presume is from NASA, there appears to be astronauts observing Mars through a porthole in their vessel, having a fantastic time. Now, although we don't actually see the astronauts throughout the clip here, we do hear them quite audibly. Now, this is interesting, okay? And we've seen plenty of different videos that have come out where a lot of media stitching was involved, and I don't necessarily know that this is the case with this video, as the reactions seem pretty genuine to what's going on in terms of the visuals.
For us, from our perspective, the most important thing we did was bring Sandy. Sandy, we cannot thank you enough.
Looking good for generations of space travelers to come.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is curious because there are no manned missions, according to NASA, planned until 2033. So what are we doing up there now? Taking joyrides? I mean, count me in. Can we identify the astronauts that are in this video? Who is the 135 crew? And there are several names that are mentioned throughout, perhaps that would give us a little bit of leeway into that sort of research.
Being in the industry, I know that how a lot of things are done, tricks of the trade, you might say. And this footage that we're seeing of a craft orbiting Mars looks really, really good. But is it real? Well, we also hear the audio in the background of, sounds like Mission Control and the crew. Well, the audio itself right away gave it away that someone has created or tampered this video to put the impression on people that it's real. There are many times that we get actual footage or legitimate stuff, but powers that be will put something, it'll add something to it. knowing that it will discredit everything because that's what people do, or human nature. Well, if that's not true, then the whole thing's not true. And they hope for that we will be dismissive. Now, the video footage that we're seeing possibly could be a trip to Mars. It's very possible. It's very possible. Or it could be an International Space Station camera looking over the Earth in a desert climate area, or it could have been run through some color filters to tint the land. So that is very possible too.
This is truly remarkable footage. I'm honestly going to say this from the bottom of my heart. Whether real or fake, I don't care. This is the best footage I've ever seen. I swear it makes me feel like I am a part of NASA or SpaceX on the mission that's going to head for Mars, whether it be in a few years or, I don't know, hopefully not longer than a decade. So what are we seeing here? Obviously, we're looking at the red planet, Mars. We've been talking about Mars, for thousands of years, and 100+ years ago, people assumed there was life on the moon and Mars. As a matter of fact, Nikola Tesla, when he was doing his experiments at Colorado Springs, when he had his so-called extraterrestrial communication experiment or experience that resulted in an experiment where he was tracking thunderclouds, he assumed it to be from Mars. Also, recently, remember, General Eshed of Israel, who led their space program, said that we have humans and extraterrestrials working in unison on Mars. Is this a part of Project Solar Warden? Remember, the project was supposed to be, in essence, to have bases on Mars, a secret space program. That's what Solar Warden was and is, if that's, of course, true.
It's kind of wild this footage is just coming out within weeks of the rover, a new rover landing on Mars known as a Perseverance. Going to have their awesome little flying drone. They're actually going to take a helicopter and fly this through the atmosphere of the Martian landscape. And it's going to videotape everything. It's going to be a wild ride. Why would they release this tape now? To kind of give us maybe a soft disclosure that what they find there, that they're going to prove that they've already been there?
I'm also curious what kind of camera he may be using, although I'm not very familiar what is allowed aboard a spacecraft in respect to this sort of thing. But I think that there is somebody out there who could answer that and give us a little bit more insight into what we're seeing in the way that he captured it. Is it fake? Listen, to me, it looks like Martian landscape insofar as we've seen through photographs taken by various unmanned vehicles. So the possibility that this is a valid video is definitely there. Now, I'm going to point out very quickly that there is an audio cut, which does seem to go in tandem with the video, rendering it a little bit more legit, but this could be a trick in the way of editing. Either way, this is fantastic, and I think that we need to take a little more time to just really deeply dig into what this sighting is, or what this video is all about, and have we been to Mars?
So I'm on the fence on the footage that we are seeing, but for a fact, I will tell you the audio is not in conjunction with this video. It's just been thrown on to divert attention, I guess, or to create dismissiveness of the video. But the fact that there's meteor impacts throughout this video makes me even take it to the next level. Okay, what if this really is? Did we send somebody back to, or send somebody to Mars? Now, there was another video that has been out for a while, portrayed as a U.S.-Russian joint mission operation to Mars that took place in 1962. This video has been all over the internet. When I first saw it, I kind of went, oh, this is really... But with research, I've found that this is actually a clip from a movie called Alternative 3. And it was originally a book that was scoffed, so they made it into a documentary, or more of a mockumentary, and created this whole storyline. But I'm going to say, partially, in my opinion, this video is fake on the aspects of the audio. The video, I scoured videos of Mars and other planets, the moon, to see where, if I could find matchings of these craters, and I couldn't. So I'm still up in the air on the actual video footage, but I can say for 100% the audio has been duped from the STS-135 mission, the last shuttle mission to the International Space Station in 2011. Sorry if I bursted anybody's bubbles, but that's what we're here to do. We're here not to burst your bubble, but to find the truth, and never to mislead. So that's what I have to say on this one.
There should be some sort of release. So, anybody know who made this? No. Because anybody who puts this video up, nobody's claiming they own it. Which is like the Skinny Bob video. Who made it? That's what intrigues me about these videos. Nobody's claiming any ownership of them. And if that's the way it's gonna be, these might be real. Skinny Bob and the Mars. I know people they think they know Skinny Bob, but anyway, this video, I don't think we know. Maybe some expert out there knows everything there is to know, and they can come forward and let Third Phase of Moon know. But I'm on the fence on this one. I'd like to think we went, but I'm not sure.
The big question that I ask myself is, if NASA actually made it to Mars, why aren't they telling us that they did? Maybe it's to keep secrets from China, Russia? I'm not exactly sure, but if they did make it, they wouldn't probably tell the public until they're ready. I want to thank everybody for joining us right here at Third Phase Moon, along with the guest panel, going over the footage that has just come into third phase. Is this actual evidence of astronauts visiting the red planet captured by NASA themselves? Well, this remains to be seen. I thank everybody in the chat and this live premiere for joining us. Give yourself a big thumbs up, and we appreciate all the support. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. Be safe out there. And if you've captured anything amazing in regards to the UFO phenomenon, submit it to us right here at Third Phase of Moon. Upload your UFO video to YouTube. Copy paste that to my email. We'll check your video out, and who knows, it might be seen on the top UFO channel on the planet. Blake Cousins. We'll see you next time.
I think it's terrifying. I mean, this seems potentially like one of the biggest stories of my lifetime. And I don't care if it's about UFOs or whatever you call it. Something that we don't understand is getting very close to our military aircraft.
The technologies related to energy generation should come out first.
This hybrid aerospace underwater craft is able to basically generate an electromagnetic field.
It is President Trump's belief that the United States must remain as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and the air. And your charge is to see to that mission with the United States Space Force.
There were 3 people on my team assassinated, and I was almost killed.
With a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
It's a matter of national security.
But apparently, just recovered are off-world vehicles not made on this Earth.
The president will respond to the subject the way they want them to. There's a black box with all the technologies that would give us a civilization that's sustainable, peaceful, etc., and that's been around for decades.
Everybody's asking the biggest question in the world. Are we alone?
Look, it's holding, it's just stalled out there.
The narrative that's being launched, which is a false narrative, is that we're not alone and that those civilizations are a threat. The problem is that the public has to be informed and involved.
It could be a restatement saying, hallelujah, I'm finally vindicated.
I'm not completely convinced they're gonna let this stay like it is.
But the people who are surrounding that level of our politicians and government are not told. Like the movie Independence Day, where Will say, let's go kick alien butt.